Right now, your pepper plants might be dying a slow death, and you probably think you're doing everything correctly. What if I told you that the one thing you believe is helping them is actually their biggest enemy? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover why your neighbor's peppers are thriving while yours are struggling, and trust me, the answer will surprise you. Hey there, garden friend. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening, where we grow more for less. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This channel is all about helping you create an abundant garden without emptying your wallet. Today, we're diving into something that could literally save your pepper harvest, and I promise you, these aren't the same old tips you've heard 1,000 times before. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor. If you're serious about growing better peppers this season, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It's completely free, and you'll join thousands of gardeners who are transforming their spaces one plant at a time. Also, drop a comment below and tell me, are you growing bell peppers, jalapeños, or something spicier? I read every single comment, and I'd love to know what you're working with. Alright, let's get into these game-changing mistakes. Mistake 1, treating all peppers like tomatoes. Okay, here's where most gardeners go completely wrong, and honestly, I made this mistake for years. We treat peppers like they're tomatoes. I mean, they're both nightshades, they both love warmth, so they should grow the same way, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Here's what's actually happening: tomatoes are heavy feeders. They want nitrogen, and more nitrogen. So naturally, we dump the same rich compost and high nitrogen fertilizers on our peppers, thinking we're doing them a favor. But peppers? They're totally different creatures. When you overload peppers with nitrogen, something fascinating happens. The plant looks at all that nitrogen and thinks, oh wow, perfect conditions for growing leaves. So it puts all its energy into becoming this big, bushy, gorgeous green monster. Sounds great, right? Except there's a problem with no peppers. Or maybe you get a few tiny ones while your plant looks like it belongs in a jungle. Peppers actually thrive on what I call controlled stress. They need balanced nutrition, not an all-you-can-eat nitrogen buffet. When they sense that resources are limited, they shift into survival mode and start producing fruit like crazy because that's how they reproduce. Here's your fix: use a balanced fertilizer, something like a 5-5-5 or even better, a formula slightly higher in phosphorus and potassium than nitrogen. Think May 10-10. Phosphorus helps with root development and flower production, while potassium strengthens the plant and improves fruit quality. And here's a budget-friendly tip that'll save you money: banana peels and wood ash. Seriously. Banana peels are packed with potassium, and wood ash provides both potassium and phosphorus. Just bury chopped banana peels around your pepper plants or make a banana peel tea. For wood ash, sprinkle a light dusting around the base of your plants once a month. Free fertilizer that actually works. Mistake 2, drowning them with kindness. Alright, let's talk about water because this one breaks my heart every single time. You're watering your peppers every single day because you love them, you want them to thrive, and you think consistent moisture equals happy plants. But here's the brutal truth: you're slowly suffocating their roots. Pepper roots need oxygen just as much as they need water. When you water daily, especially if your soil doesn't drain well, you're creating a swampy environment underground. The roots literally can't breathe. They start to rot, fungal diseases move in, and suddenly your beautiful pepper plant is wilting even though the soil is soaking wet. I learned this the hard way. I had these gorgeous pepper seedlings, watering them religiously every morning, feeling like the world's best plant parent. Then they started yellowing, getting droopy, and I couldn't figure it out. More water, right? Nope. I was killing them with kindness. Here's what peppers actually want: deep, infrequent watering. Let me explain what that means. Instead of sprinkling water on top every day, you want to water thoroughly until you see it draining out the bottom, then leave them alone. Let the top 2 inches of soil dry out before you water again. Stick your finger in the soil. If it feels moist below the surface, they don't need water yet. Peppers can handle a little drought stress. In fact, it makes them stronger and encourages deeper root growth. Those deep roots mean a healthier plant that can access water and nutrients from further down in the soil. And here's a free trick that'll change everything: mulch. Grab some dried leaves, straw, grass clippings, or even shredded newspaper. Spread a 2 to 3 inch layer around your pepper plants, keeping it a few inches away from the stem. This mulch acts like a blanket, keeping moisture in the soil longer so you water less often, and it prevents soil from splashing onto leaves, which reduces disease. Plus, it's usually free or costs almost nothing. Quick pause: if you're getting value from this video so far, show me some love by hitting that like button. It takes 2 seconds but helps this content reach more gardeners just like you. And seriously, drop a comment right now telling me which mistake you've been making. No judgment here, we've all been there. Let's keep going because the next mistake is probably the sneakiest one of all. Mistake 3, planting them too early. I'm about to call out every single one of us, myself included. The weather starts warming up, you see a sunny week in the forecast, and you think, perfect. Time to get those peppers in the ground. You transplant them outside, feeling proud and productive, and then, nothing happens. Or worse, they turn purple, stop growing, and just sit there looking miserable for weeks. Here's what nobody tells you: peppers are not just warm weather lovers, they're warm weather snobs. They don't just tolerate cold, they absolutely hate it. When soil temperatures drop below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, pepper roots basically shut down. They stop absorbing nutrients, they stop growing, and they just survive rather than thrive. And air temperature? Peppers want nighttime temperatures consistently above 55 degrees. If you plant them out when nights are still dipping into the 40s or low 50s, you're setting them back by weeks. That pretty purple color on the leaves? That's not a cool mutation, that's stress. The plant can't process phosphorus properly in cold conditions, so it turns purple as a distress signal. I used to think I was getting a head start by planting early. In reality, peppers I planted 3 weeks later would catch up and overtake the early ones because they went into warm soil and just exploded with growth. Here's your action plan: wait until your soil is consistently 65 degrees or warmer. You can check this with a simple soil thermometer. They cost about $5 and last forever. Or here's the free method: if you can comfortably walk barefoot on your garden soil in the morning without it feeling cold, you're probably good to go. Also, watch your nighttime lows. Wait until nights stay above 55 degrees consistently for at least a week. I know waiting is painful, but patience here pays off massively. And here's a bonus tip for the budget-conscious: black plastic mulch or landscape fabric. Lay it over your planting area a week or 2 before you want to transplant. The dark surface absorbs heat and warms the soil faster. It's reusable year after year, and it'll give you a jump start without risking cold-shocked plants. Mistake 4, ignoring the flowers. This mistake is so subtle that most people don't even realize it's happening. Your pepper plants start flowering, exciting, right? Flowers mean peppers are coming. But then you notice the flowers are dropping off before they turn into fruit. Or maybe you get flowers, but they're just sitting there, not developing into anything. The culprit? Temperature swings and poor pollination. Peppers are incredibly sensitive when they're flowering. If daytime temperatures consistently hit above 90 degrees or drop below 60 degrees, the pollen becomes sterile. The flowers bloom, they look perfect, but they can't actually create fruit. They yellow and drop off, and you're left wondering what went wrong. Here's what most people miss: night temperatures matter even more. If nights stay above 75 degrees, peppers struggle to set fruit. The plant is too stressed by the constant heat, even though it looks healthy. Then there's pollination. Peppers are self-pollinating, meaning they don't technically need bees, but here's the thing: they still benefit massively from a little help. Wind and insects naturally shake the flowers, moving pollen around. But if your peppers are in a sheltered spot with no airflow, or if you're growing in a greenhouse or screened area with no pollinators, those flowers might not be getting pollinated effectively. Here's your solution. For temperature issues, there's not much you can do about the weather, but you can create shade during extreme heat. Throw up a simple shade cloth during the hottest part of the day. You can use an old white bed sheet, row cover, or even prop up a beach umbrella. For cold snaps, cover plants overnight with blankets or cloches. These simple moves can save your flower set. For pollination, become the bee. I'm serious. Once a day when your peppers are flowering, go out and gently tap or shake each plant. You can also use a small paintbrush or cotton swab to transfer pollen from flower to flower. It sounds tedious, but it takes maybe 2 minutes and dramatically increases your fruit set. Completely free and incredibly effective. Mistake 5, harvesting too late. Alright, final mistake, and this one actually reduces your total harvest without you realizing it. You're waiting for your peppers to reach their final color, waiting for those bells to turn red, or those jalapeños to get those pretty stress lines. Patience is good, right? Here's the truth. Every pepper that's sitting on your plant fully mature is sending a signal to the plant that says, job done. We've reproduced. Time to slow down. The plant stops producing new flowers and focuses energy on those mature fruits. You're basically telling your pepper plant to retire early. But here's the game changer. Almost all peppers are edible and delicious at their immature green stage. Bell peppers, jalapeños, serranos, cayennes, you can harvest them green. They might be slightly less sweet or have a different flavor profile, but they're completely usable. And the moment you pick them, the plant gets a message: wait, we need more fruit. Keep going. By harvesting earlier and more frequently, you're triggering the plant to produce more flowers, which means more peppers throughout the season. You could literally double your harvest just by picking more often. Here's your strategy: start harvesting when peppers reach full size but are still green. Use them fresh, pickle them, freeze them, they're fantastic. If you want colored peppers, leave just 1 or 2 on the plant to fully ripen while you keep harvesting the others. This way, you get the best of both worlds: continuous production plus some fully ripe, sweet peppers for special uses. And here's the money-saving angle: more peppers mean less money spent at the grocery store. A single healthy pepper plant that's harvested correctly can produce 20 to 30 peppers in a season. That's easily $30 to $50 worth of produce from a plant that cost you maybe $2 as a seedling. And there you have it, 5 mistakes that could be sabotaging your pepper harvest right now. But here's the beautiful thing: now you know exactly how to fix them. Stop treating peppers like tomatoes, water them deeply but less often, wait for warm soil before planting, help those flowers along, and harvest frequently to keep production going strong. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed because we've got more budget-friendly gardening content coming your way every single week. Hit that like button if these tips changed the way you think about growing peppers, and drop a comment telling me what's your biggest pepper growing challenge. I'll respond to as many as I can, and who knows, your question might become our next video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Now get out there and grow some incredible peppers without spending a fortune. I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening!